It's a moat. Pretty sure this isn't fresh water, but you guys can have at it if you want. All right, so bear market vibes. The reason haven't been vlogging is I've been losing money the last couple weeks. It's hard to vlog when you're losing money. I mean, psychologically, like, you lost 6 figures. What are you gonna do? Except, I mean, sit in your room and watch the charts all day. I told you it becomes an addiction watching the charts during the bear market. You don't want to do that. You don't even want to watch the charts during a bull market. You just want to buy and hold. Yeah, but with a bear market, if you're not shorting, then there's pretty much nothing you can do. The only reason to short is if your TA is solid and the market's super weak, like it was with inflation rates. So what happened was inflation came in at 8.6% versus 8.24, so it was 0.36% higher than expected. You might think, oh, that's not a lot, but for 1 month when they were so on, the biggest they were off was by like 0.1 in February. To be off by this much, it's like, whoa. And I think the treasurer, or one of the inflation executives, one of the inflation executives in the U.S. government warned inflation was going to be higher than expected. So what happened? We got higher than expected inflation. So SP 500 dead cat to 4,200, and then it's at 39. So to lose like 7.5% like that, or 8%, is insane. 7%. But it happens. So what happened in Bitcoin? It finally lost that support, or ETH lost that 2001 support, that weekly support or monthly support at 0.06 BTC, which was about 1,700 US dollars, and it nuked to like 1430, something like that. It happens, guys. I'm sorry, but it happens. It's okay if you can't get over that hump. So we lost the support. I mean, people are like, we're officially a bear market. We've been a bear market for the last 6 months. So what are you gonna do? Now, obviously you can't just buy shit. Shills are dangerous. It's dangerous to buy something that someone shills. It's even more dangerous to buy something that no one shills. Holy crap, who's gonna buy that? I mean, look what happened with NFTs. They switched to the free mint model because they couldn't raise money. You couldn't raise 500, 1,000, 5,000 ETH. Forget about it. You okay, boo-boo? You okay? I hope this swamp isn't gonna smell. It's the freaking high point of summer. We're almost at the solstice. Not the high point, the high point of the year, temperature-wise. So, what are you gonna do now since you can't buy shills? You can't buy things that aren't shilled. You can't do anything. Well, we had a nice run with Lunk, or Luna, the original Luna. And even the new Luna, it went from like $3.50 to $12. $30 on Bybit. Use my Bybit referral link, sponsored by Bybit. And Lunk went from like 0.065 or 0.0406 to 3018. Nice 3x by Lunk. We had Op that went from 76 cents ish, or 78, all the way to $2 on Binance. Is that right? Or $2 on KuCoin. $1. It wicked to like 220 on Binance, but there was like $1,000 liquidity there, and it dropped all the way to 64 cents where we sit today. And Coinbase hit 417, I think, or 413. Cool. yeah, there are those like new listings on different exchanges like KuCoin, Coinbase, Binance that will still do numbers like 10x, 5x, but you're not going to be able to get much liquidity. Most of my followers, viewers will. They can put like a couple grand in and maybe ride it to like 10,000, 20,000 if you're lucky. But if you're just going to gamble randomly, you might not be positive ROI, so it's going to be hard. But it's still worth a shot, I think, if you have a couple grand left. So what's your goal for the next 2 years till we get to the halving? The halving technically is supposed to be a pump-worthy event. But the thing is, if we're just coming out of the recession, it should do well. But if we're just going into the recession, I mean, we've been going into the recession for the last 6 months, so I should rephrase that. Hopefully we're coming out of the recession by then. Usually the recession is 1 year, 2 year max. So how that affects crypto runs on 4-year cycles. So we should get the pump worthy thing. And then the question is, will Bitcoin even go to new highs? Will it surpass 69K the next halving bull run? It might not. It might just be a dead cat. This halving might be a dead cat event. Same with macro markets where we don't even reach new highs, or we barely pass them by like 10%, 20%, and then we go back down and chop for another 4 years or 2 years or 8 years, whatever. It could be one of those 10-year cycles like we had from 2003 to 2013 or 2015, whatever, where we just went up and went down and returned to the mean. That's why you want to take advantage of these bull markets. So your goal for the next 2 years, at least till we have relief, is just have enough money to survive, to pay your bills. It's totally different if you're in the US and European Union, Western countries, maybe even countries like Singapore, that have good social welfare programs, where they'll support you even if you can't eat. At the bare minimum, they'll give everyone food stamps. And the rent relief, it's just not, it's not going to keep going. I mean, we can keep printing money, but the reason we're here is because of inflation, right? Inflation, recessions often follow inflation. So we have this period of crazy economic growth in the stock markets, GDP, technology, blah, 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 social media, all these companies popping out. These small companies like, what's that, Views? Dude, I've used it one time. I don't have the app, where you network with everyone. Wow, what a $1 billion idea, where you just video chat conference with 32 people. I remember when FaceTime came out. We had Skype and stuff before that, but FaceTime, where you could actually do one-on-one video phone calls, that was amazing. So then we had, I just can't think of the company name because I've only used it once. I've heard it like 100 times, but whatever it is, where you can get 32 people in a video chat, or 64. People use it for classrooms now. Everyone's using it. Anyway, so these amazing technological achievements. And you realize your mistake, right? You didn't create any products. You didn't create any vaporware, any crypto vaporware, any crypto scams, Ponzi's, pump and dumps, whatever you want to call them. Because algo stable coins, because you thought going from making 15,000 at your part-time gig, DoorDash, whatever, Uber Eats, Uber driving, Lyft, where you made like 25,000 in a solid year, to making 100K or whatever, 5x, 10x what you normally make. You thought this was amazing. Or even if you've never worked before and you made freaking $50,000 or 10,000, you thought, wow, this is great. But guess what? You could have made millions. Look at you're like, oh, they made millions. I don't mind making a couple 100,000, whatever. But guess what happened? You lost all your money. If you lose 80% of $10 million, what is that? You still have 2 million left. You lose 80% of 100,000, you have $20,000 left. Would you rather survive on 20,000 or 2 million over the next 2 years? Okay, that was a rhetorical question. But you see what happened. You were too scared to scam, too scared to shill a shitty product. Could have made a couple million. Even being left with freaking 400,000, 200,000, whatever, is a nice chunk to be left with. But unfortunately, you played it safe. Ironically, by investing in scams, you played it safe during the bull market. And guess what happened? The rug was pulled. The magic carpet ride wasn't really a magic carpet ride. And your billion-dollar girlfriend or boyfriend or non-binary other is really yourself. You look in that mirror, you're looking back at yourself. There's no one there. You're just talking to yourself. Yeah, it might be a real person, but it's really an NPC, because after all, it's about you, right? You're not giving up your life for them. They're giving up their life for you. You're making all the bucks, and guess what? Now you don't have the bucks. Where are you now? You're in the poorhouse. Anyway, so for the next 2 years, like I said, if you're in a Western country, you should be okay for food-wise. Rent-wise, you might get kicked out of your apartment. You might not afford to pay your mortgage, blah, blah, blah. But you'll survive. You might have to get a job, a wagey. Obviously not McDonald's, unless, I mean, manager jobs at McDonald's, they said 80,000 for managers, which is pretty good. But you don't want to work 12 hours a day, do you? No, I mean, in crypto, you're working, what, 16 hours a day on a solid work day, but it's your own time. That's what's great about it, even though you're probably more stressed out because you're losing money during this cycle. Hey. So what's up next? What are you gonna do next? So think of the way you can scam people. I don't mean literally scam, but just launch a product and keep saying hype, partnership, blah, 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 or partnering with all these DeFi lending protocols and NFTs, and the apes are in, blah, blah. I remember all those freaking NFTs that said they were with the apes, the other side. The what ifs, I don't even remember these projects. It's been like a month or two. They just went to zero. The Crypto Toads is the only one I really remember. The World of Women supposedly were part of the apes. And guess what? It was just Bored Apes and Mutant Apes. It wasn't even freaking Kennel Dogs, Bored Ape Kennel Club. But we might, look guys, we might be getting another bull run. Can I just plow through? I'm gonna follow you. In 2 years, so that's something to look forward to. And launch, remember, you got to launch your product. Even if you didn't make it this cycle, you'll make it next cycle. Because the one great thing about it is it's a lot harder to go from, unless you launch your own crypto product, it's a lot harder to go from $1 million to $2 million than it is to go from 100,000 to 200 or 10,000 to 20,000 or 1,000 to 2,000. And it's even harder to go from 10 to 20 million, and nearly impossible to go from 100 million to 200 million. Like, you get these numbers, then you look how many traders, and it's like a 10th of the traders at the previous level, or even a 20th. I mean, it should be a 20. I don't know. But it just becomes exponentially harder to go from higher powers in terms of whatever income or net worth. So $1 billion to $2 billion, crazy. Like the best traders in crypto didn't even reach $1 billion this cycle unless they already had 100 million. I mean, not guaranteed that they reached $1 billion, but more than likely, if you had 100 million, you reached $1 billion. There are crazy people that went from like 10 or 20,000 to 100, 200 million. But of course, that was crazy leverage, and they lost it when the rug was pulled, because it's almost impossible to trade without momentum. If you don't know the direction of your trade, you're just gambling, and there's no way you can get to those crazy numbers. But in a bull run, the direction is easy. It's just up only. In holders, paradise, diamond hands, all that mumbo jumbo. But are we turning back? We can go a little bit more once you're done pooping. this way. And the holder's paradise is no longer a paradise. It's actually a shorter's paradise right now. But we're getting close to the bottom. But the bottom could be ETH 700. I guess it's pretty much certain that the bottom of ETH is 700. Because the bear market is going to last another year. Maybe longer, maybe a year and a half. And it's just, you can't make money. I mean, you can make money shorting, but you're gonna have to use leverage. It's just hard. Like, you can protect what you have now, but you probably lost 80 or 90%. So sorry about that. And all the people you helped from poor and developing countries, it's those stimulus packages, you're gonna go from $1,000 every couple months to $100 or 150, whatever. And it's just hard. The businesses are gonna stop getting funding during the next year or two. Drastically reduction in funding by 80 or 90%, and it obviously trickles down from the VCs and crypto to the hedge funds that aren't getting money, to the startups and blah blah blah, then to our traders, which are most of us. Why are we traders versus hedge funds and VCs? Because we're stupid. One, we're lazy. Two, you might think, I'm not lazy. I wake up at 6 a.m. blah blah blah. I go to the gym for an hour and a half, and then 7:30 I'm trading, and then I work till 11. Well, guess what? I mean, lazy mentally. You're mentally lazy because you're too afraid to take the leap of faith where you can scam other people. When I say scam, I don't mean that. I just mean launching vaporware, where you hope it becomes the next big thing, but 98% of crypto Ponzi's collapse, and like 5 or 10% of them come back next cycle. So don't be afraid to take the leap of faith. I mean, during bear markets, it's even hard to start a business. Who's going to give you lending? Interest rates are going to go up. And people are going to be unwilling to risk anything on some rogue company that you started. If it's amazing tech, if it's a game changer, or if it's what's been done before, and it's just a solid, you might be able to secure lending or financing. Other than that, good luck, man. Good luck is all I can say. And your goal is just to survive for 2 years until the bull market. And you can work on strategies to make money, but it's hard to build a company when you're saying our funding, our profits are 2 years away. It's really hard. Unless you're just going to launch a scam product, then you can just wait for the bull market. So good luck to you all. Remember to follow me, like, subscribe, retweet. And you got to stay positive, because if you're broke and have a negative mindset, it's really hard to get by, beating depression and all that anxiety, obesity, negative health effects that follow those. But if you have money and your negative mindset saying, I'm going to lose all of my money or I can't keep anything, at least you have money to fall back on. At least you can pay your bills. Because when you can't pay the bills, that's when the dominoes start to fall. So it's better to be rich and depressed than poor and depressed. But it's better to be poor and happy than rich and depressed. And it's better to be rich and happy than poor and happy by a little bit. Poor and happy is just a little bit worse than rich and happy. 30% worse. So anyway, you don't really need money, but to beat depression, to pay those bills, you just need a baseline income. So you want to be able to pay all your bills, okay? Just pay them. Or have a way to defeat the depression of not being able to pay your bills, being kicked out of your apartment, having to move. Good news is if you're a minimalist, you don't have a lot of shit, and you get kicked out of your apartment, it's easy to move, just find another place. But if you like to hoard, which most people do, I hoard NFTs, so I'm okay. I used to hoard phones and video games, Wii's, and all that good stuff. And now I just hoard digital products. So it's easy for me to get up and move if I have to. Good luck to you all. Remember, mind over matter. Your mental state is the most important thing. It is affected by your physical environment, physical condition, but building up your mental state, your foundation. Obviously, you don't want to be 300 pounds or 150 kilos or 140 kilos and mentally strong. You don't want to, unless you work out all the time, then it's fine to be a heifer. Is that a PC word? Or pleasantly plump? What do they call it? Large and in charge. What are those the good words? What do they like to be called? Full figured. There you go. That's a good one. Full figured. So unless you're working out all the time, building muscle and all the good stuff, you can be large. But if you think you're mentally strong, but you're like 500 pounds, I mean, more power to you if that's how you make money. That's the product that you sell, your image of being large and inch. I mean, full figured. So remember, mind over matter. That's all you need to do. Your mental state is the most important thing. But once your physical condition collapses, usually your mental state collapses too, whether it's monetary or physically. And it could be psychologically where, well, that's what I meant by your mental state. Anyway, remember to like, follow, subscribe, retweet, and 2130. Can we make it to 2130? No, you're all gonna be dead, right? Unless Elon Musk helps us. So life extension I'll talk about in the next vlog. Thanks for watching.